Mysticism, a fascinating aspect of human spirituality, has intrigued people across cultures and throughout history. It is a realm of profound experiences, spiritual union, and contemplative practices that delve into the mysteries of existence. Mysticism is not limited to a specific religion or tradition, but rather manifests in various cultural expressions, inviting individuals to explore the depths of their inner selves and seek a connection with something greater than themselves. The origins of mysticism can be traced back to ancient times, where it emerged in different forms within diverse civilizations. From the mystical traditions of ancient Greece and Egypt to the profound insights of Eastern philosophy and mystical branches of major religions like Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Judaism, mysticism has permeated human history in multifaceted ways. The purpose of this episode is to introduce and explain the concept of mysticism to those who may have never encountered it before. Mysticism can be a complex and nuanced subject, often misunderstood or overlooked in contemporary discourse. By shedding light on its key concepts, historical origins, and diverse cultural expressions, this episode aims to demystify mysticism and make it accessible to a wider audience. Furthermore, this episode seeks to emphasize the significance and relevance of mysticism in personal and spiritual transformation, its influence on art, literature, and philosophy, and its contributions to religious and philosophical thought. By exploring mysticism across various traditions and highlighting its common themes, this episode aims to promote interfaith dialogue and unity, fostering a deeper understanding of our shared spiritual heritage. Mysticism, at its core, is a profound and transformative spiritual journey that transcends the boundaries of ordinary perception and understanding. It explores the realms of the ineffable, the transcendent, and the hidden dimensions of existence. While the term mysticism might evoke a sense of mystery and elusiveness, it refers to a universal human experience that has been pursued throughout history by individuals seeking deeper meaning, connection, and insight into the nature of reality. Mysticism is often associated with experiences of direct communion with the divine, ultimate reality, or a higher power. It involves an intuitive knowing that surpasses rational comprehension and offers a glimpse into the profound mysteries of existence. These mystical experiences can be transformative, leaving a lasting impact on individuals' lives and shaping their worldview. Historical context and origins. Mysticism finds its roots in ancient civilizations, where individuals sought spiritual connection beyond conventional religious rituals and practices. In the East, mysticism emerged in the Vedic traditions of ancient India, where sages and seers delved into deep meditative states to unravel the nature of the self and the universe. Similarly, in ancient Greece, the Eleusinian mysteries offered participants a transformative journey through rituals and visionary experiences, fostering a connection with the divine. Throughout history, mystical traditions have emerged within major religions such as Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Judaism. These traditions often arise as responses to institutionalized religious structures, providing seekers with an alternative path to experiencing the divine directly. Variations and cultural expressions of mysticism. Mysticism is not confined to any particular religious or cultural tradition. Instead, it manifests in diverse and unique expressions across different societies and belief systems. For instance, within Christian mysticism, figures like Meister Eckhart and Teresa of Avila emphasize the direct experience of God's presence and the soul's union with the divine. In Islamic mysticism, known as Sufism, individuals engage in practices such as whirling dances, chants, and intense meditation to achieve ecstatic states and reach spiritual union with God. Sufi poets and thinkers like Rumi and Ibn Arabi have gifted the world with their profound expressions of divine love and mystical insight. Eastern religions, such as Hinduism and Buddhism, have rich mystical traditions as well. Advaita Vedanta in Hinduism explores the non-dual nature of reality, emphasizing the unity of the individual soul, Atman, with the ultimate reality, Brahman. Buddhist traditions, particularly Zen Buddhism, focus on direct experiential realization of enlightenment through meditation and mindfulness practices. Judaism has its own mystical tradition known as Kabbalah, which delves into the study of divine mysteries and the nature of the universe. Kabbalistic teachings emphasize the importance of mystical experiences and contemplative practices as a means of connecting with the divine. Even indigenous and shamanic traditions across the globe have their mystical practices. These traditions often involve altered states of consciousness, shamanic journeying, and communion with the natural world and ancestral spirits. The diversity of mystical expressions underscores the universal longing for connection, transcendence, and a deeper understanding of the mysteries of existence. While the cultural contexts and practices may differ, the essence of mysticism remains a profound exploration of the spiritual dimensions of life. Key concepts in mysticism: transcendence and spiritual experiences. Describing the ineffable and transcendent nature of mystical experiences. Mystical experiences are often described as encounters with the ineffable and transcendent aspects of reality. Words fall short in capturing the depth and intensity of these encounters, as they surpass the limitations of language and rational understanding. Mystical experiences can be characterized by a sense of awe, wonder, and the feeling of being connected to something greater than oneself. In these moments, individuals may perceive a profound expansion of consciousness, where boundaries between the self and the universe dissolve. Time and space lose their conventional meaning, and a deep sense of unity and interconnectedness emerges. It is an encounter with a reality that is beyond the grasp of the ordinary senses and the rational mind. Examples of mystical experiences across different religions and traditions. Mystical experiences are not confined to any particular religious or cultural framework. They are a universal phenomenon that has been documented and celebrated across diverse traditions. While the specific details may vary, there are remarkable similarities in the core characteristics of these experiences. For instance, in Christianity, mystics such as Saint John of the Cross and Julian of Norwich described their encounters with God as a union of the soul with the divine. They expressed their experiences through poetic and metaphorical language, capturing the sense of divine love and the merging of the individual self with the divine presence. In Sufism, the mystical branch of Islam, practitioners seek spiritual union with God through practices such as dhikr, remembrance of God, whirling dances, and meditation. The aim is to transcend the limitations of the ego and experience a direct connection with the divine, often described as annihilation of the self in the ocean of divine unity. In Hinduism, mystical experiences are explored in Advaita Vedanta, where the individual soul, Atman, is recognized as being fundamentally identical to the ultimate reality, Brahman. Through deep contemplation and self-inquiry, practitioners seek to realize this non-dual nature and experience a profound unity with the divine. Buddhism offers its own perspective on mystical experiences, particularly in the Mahayana and Vajrayana traditions. Practices such as Zen meditation and Tibetan deity yoga aim to transcend the conceptual mind and achieve direct experiential realization of enlightenment. The dissolution of the ego and the experience of emptiness are central to these mystical paths. Mystical experiences are not limited to organized religions. They can also be found in indigenous and shamanic traditions, where individuals commune with the spirits of nature, ancestors, and the unseen realms. Through rituals, ceremonies, and altered states of consciousness, practitioners enter into a mystical state and gain insights into the mysteries of existence. These examples illustrate the universality of mystical experiences and their expression across different religious and spiritual traditions. While the language and cultural context may differ, the essence of the transcendent encounter remains consistent: a profound connection with something beyond the ordinary, opening the door to expanded awareness, insight, and transformation. Union with the divine. Explaining the concept of union with the divine or ultimate reality. Union with the divine, also referred to as mystical union or divine communion, is a central concept in mysticism. It encompasses the longing for a deep and intimate connection with the divine or ultimate reality. This concept transcends the notion of a distant or separate deity and seeks a direct experiential union where the individual self merges with the divine essence. The concept of union with the divine is rooted in the belief that the true nature of the self and the divine are inherently interconnected. Mystics across traditions have sought to dissolve the boundaries between the self and the divine, recognizing that separation is an illusion. They strive for a state of oneness where the individual ego dissolves and a profound unity is realized. Understanding the desire for spiritual union and its significance in mysticism. The desire for spiritual union arises from the innate human longing for wholeness, purpose, and a sense of belonging to something greater than oneself. Mystics embark on a journey of self-discovery and spiritual transformation, driven by an inner yearning to transcend the limitations of the ego and experience the profound interconnectedness of all existence. The significance of spiritual union in mysticism lies in its transformative power. Through the experience of union with the divine, mystics often report a profound shift in consciousness and a deepened understanding of the nature of reality. They describe a sense of unity and love that transcends individual identity, fostering a deep connection with the divine presence permeating all of creation. Union with the divine brings about a sense of profound peace, joy, and fulfillment that surpasses ordinary human experiences. It offers a glimpse of the ultimate truth and a remembrance of our true nature beyond the transient and ever-changing aspects of existence. Mystics often speak of this union as the ultimate goal of human life, the source of ultimate liberation and the pathway to spiritual awakening. While the desire for spiritual union is a deeply personal and subjective experience, it has profound implications beyond the individual. Mystics throughout history have emphasized the transformative potential of union with the divine in bringing about positive change in society. The unity and love experienced in mystical union serve as a catalyst for compassion, empathy, and a deep sense of interconnectedness with all beings. Moreover, the pursuit of spiritual union has inspired great works of art, poetry, and literature. Mystical experiences often defy logical and rational explanations, leading mystics to employ metaphor, symbolism, and artistic expression to convey the ineffable aspects of their encounters with the divine. In conclusion, the concept of union with the divine represents the pinnacle of mystical exploration. It is an expression of the profound longing for connection, wholeness, and transcendence that resides within the human spirit. By seeking spiritual union, individuals embark on a transformative journey that leads to expanded consciousness, profound insight, and the realization of the interconnectedness of all existence. Contemplative practices. Overview of different contemplative practices used in mysticism. Contemplative practices play a significant role in mysticism, serving as transformative tools to cultivate heightened states of awareness, deep spiritual insight, and mystical experiences. These practices encompass a range of methods and techniques that facilitate the journey within, allowing individuals to quiet the mind, open the heart, and connect with the divine or ultimate reality. Meditation stands as one of the most widely recognized contemplative practices. It involves the intentional focusing of attention, often through techniques such as mindfulness, breath awareness, or mantra repetition. By cultivating stillness and inner silence, meditation enables individuals to transcend the chatter of the mind and enter into a state of heightened awareness and receptivity. Prayer is another contemplative practice found in various religious and spiritual traditions. It involves heartfelt communication with the divine, expressing gratitude, seeking guidance, or simply offering devotion. Contemplative reading, often known as Lectio Divina or sacred reading, involves a slow, reflective engagement with sacred texts or spiritual literature. It goes beyond intellectual understanding, encouraging a contemplative and receptive approach to allow the words to resonate within the heart and inspire insights and deeper understanding. Silence and solitude are also fundamental contemplative practices that create space for inner stillness and reflection. By withdrawing from the distractions of the external world, individuals can cultivate an inward focus, attuning themselves to the subtler dimensions of their being and fostering a deeper connection with the divine presence. Importance of these practices in achieving mystical states of consciousness. Contemplative practices are vital in mysticism as they serve as gateways to mystical states of consciousness and transformative experiences. These practices create the necessary conditions for individuals to transcend the limitations of the ego and access deeper dimensions of awareness and insight. Through the cultivation of stillness, silence, and focused attention, the mind becomes quiet and the ego's incessant chatter diminishes, paving the way for a direct experience of the divine. Contemplative practices also help individuals develop qualities such as patience, surrender, and inner receptivity. These qualities are essential for navigating the mystical journey as they allow for a surrendering of control and a deep trust in the unfolding of the spiritual path. Moreover, contemplative practices provide a foundation for the integration of mystical experiences into everyday life. They help individuals develop resilience, inner peace, and clarity of purpose, allowing them to carry the insights gained in mystical states into their relationships, work, and service to the world. It is important to note that while contemplative practices are means to support the mystical journey, they are not ends in themselves. The true aim is the direct experience of the divine or ultimate reality, which may transcend the practices themselves. Contemplative practices serve as tools to quiet the mind, open the heart, and create a receptive space for the mystical to unfold. In conclusion, contemplative practices hold a central place in mysticism, facilitating the cultivation of heightened states of awareness and facilitating transformative encounters with the divine. These practices provide individuals with the means to quiet the mind, open the heart, and enter into deeper dimensions of consciousness. By engaging in contemplative practices, seekers create the conditions necessary for the realization of the mystical and the integration of these experiences into their lives. Mysticism in different religions and traditions. Mysticism in Christianity, exploring Christian mysticism and its prominent figures. Christian mysticism encompasses a rich and profound tradition of seeking union with God through direct experiences of the divine. Throughout history, numerous individuals have emerged as prominent figures in Christian mysticism, leaving behind a legacy of deep spiritual insight and mystical teachings. One such figure is Meister Eckhart, a German Dominican friar and mystic of the 13th and 14th centuries. Eckhart emphasized the importance of inner transformation and the awakening of the divine spark within the soul. His writings explored the concept of the ground of the soul, pointing to the transcendent reality beyond all dualities and the possibility of direct union with God. Teresa of Avila, a Spanish Carmelite nun and mystic of the 16th century, is another notable figure in Christian mysticism. Through her profound experiences and writings, such as The Interior Castle, Teresa described the journey of the soul toward union with God. She highlighted the significance of contemplative prayer, inner stillness, and surrender in the pursuit of mystical union. These mystics, and others like them within the Christian tradition, have provided invaluable insights into the nature of mystical experiences and the transformative potential they hold. They emphasized the intimate relationship between the individual soul and the divine, and explored the depths of the human spirit in its quest for union with God. Mysticism in Islam, discussing Sufism and its emphasis on mystical union with God. Sufism, the mystical dimension of Islam, holds a significant place in the Islamic tradition. It is a path of spiritual awakening and the pursuit of intimate union with God, often referred to as the beloved or the divine. Sufism emphasizes direct mystical experiences as a means to transcend the limitations of the ego and merge with the divine reality. At the core of Sufism is the concept of Tawheed, the belief in the oneness of God. Sufis seek to experience this oneness firsthand, transcending the veils of duality and realizing their inherent unity with the divine essence. The journey of the Sufi is one of self-transcendence, purification of the heart, and the cultivation of love and devotion towards God. Sufism employs various spiritual practices to facilitate the mystical union with God. These practices often include meditation, chanting of sacred names or phrases, such as dhikr or remembrance, music, and dance. Through these practices, Sufis aim to quiet the mind, awaken the heart, and attune their consciousness to the divine presence. Highlighting notable Sufi poets and thinkers. Sufism has produced a wealth of mystical literature and notable figures whose poetry and teachings have left a lasting impact. Among these luminaries, Rumi and Ibn Arabi stand as towering figures in the realm of Sufi mysticism. Rumi, a 13th century Persian poet, is widely regarded as one of the greatest Sufi poets. His verses, collected in the celebrated work Matnawi, express the depths of divine love and the longing for union with God. Rumi's poetry speaks to the human soul, inviting readers to transcend the boundaries of ego and embrace the path of love as a means to encounter the divine. Ibn Arabi, a 12th century Andalusian Sufi mystic and philosopher, contributed immensely to Sufi thought. His voluminous writings explore the nature of divine reality, the stages of spiritual development, and the significance of mystical experiences. Ibn Arabi's concept of unity of being, Wahdat al-Wujud, reflects the idea that all existence is an expression of the divine essence, highlighting the interconnectedness of all creation with the divine source. These Sufi poets and thinkers, along with many others, have illuminated the mystical dimensions of Islam and provided profound insights into the path of Sufism. Through their writings, they have shared the wisdom of the mystic's journey and the transformative power of direct encounters with the divine. Mysticism in Eastern religions. Exploring mysticism in Hinduism. Hinduism, one of the world's oldest religions, encompasses a diverse range of mystical traditions and practices. Within Hinduism, two prominent paths of mysticism are Advaita Vedanta and the Bhakti tradition. Advaita Vedanta, a school of philosophy, teaches the non-dual nature of reality. It emphasizes the concept of Brahman, the ultimate reality that pervades all existence. Mystics, following the path of Advaita Vedanta, seek to realize their essential identity with Brahman and transcend the illusion of separateness. Through self-inquiry, meditation, and contemplation, practitioners strive to attain a state of oneness and merge their individual consciousness with universal consciousness. The Bhakti tradition, on the other hand, focuses on the path of devotion and love toward a personal deity. Bhakti mystics cultivate intense love and devotion toward their chosen deity, seeing the divine as the ultimate object of their longing. Through prayers, devotional practices, singing of hymns, and participating in religious festivals, they seek to establish a deep and intimate connection with the divine. Mystical experiences in Bhakti tradition often involve ecstatic states of love and union with the divine. Buddhist concepts of enlightenment and mystical experiences. Buddhism, originating from the teachings of Gautama Buddha, encompasses profound insights into the nature of reality and the path to liberation. While Buddhism is primarily known for its emphasis on meditation and the alleviation of suffering, it also encompasses mystical dimensions centered around enlightenment. In Buddhism, enlightenment, or nirvana, is the ultimate goal of the spiritual journey. It is a state of complete awakening and liberation from the cycle of birth and death. Mystical experiences in Buddhism often arise through deep states of meditation and the cultivation of mindfulness and awareness. Within Buddhist traditions, Zen Buddhism holds a significant place in the realm of mysticism. Zen emphasizes direct experience and intuitive understanding over conceptual knowledge. Zen masters guide their students through meditation and contemplative practices, encouraging them to transcend ordinary dualistic thinking and directly experience the nature of reality. The aim is to achieve a state of direct insight known as satori, where the practitioner experiences a profound sense of awakening and enlightenment. Mysticism in Eastern religions such as Hinduism and Buddhism offers seekers various paths and practices to explore the depths of spiritual experience and realization, whether through the non-dual philosophy of Advaita Vedanta, the devotion and love of the Bhakti tradition in Hinduism, or the meditative insights of Buddhism. These mystical traditions provide frameworks for individuals to engage in transformative journeys of self-discovery and spiritual awakening. Mysticism in Judaism. Exploring Jewish mystical traditions such as Kabbalah. Judaism, a rich and ancient religious tradition, also contains mystical dimensions that have captivated seekers throughout history. The mystical tradition within Judaism is known as Kabbalah, which means receiving or tradition. Kabbalah delves into the hidden aspects of the divine and offers seekers a path to deeper spiritual understanding and connection. Kabbalah originated in medieval times and has since evolved into various branches and interpretations. It explores the nature of God, the structure of the universe, and the relationship between the divine and humanity. Kabbalistic teachings often employ complex symbolic systems such as the Tree of Life to represent spiritual concepts and the divine realms. Key concepts and practices within Jewish mysticism. Within Kabbalah, several key concepts and practices are central to Jewish mysticism. One of the fundamental concepts is the Ein Sof, which refers to the infinite and unknowable nature of God. The Ein Sof is beyond human comprehension, and Kabbalists seek to establish a connection with this divine essence through contemplation and spiritual practices. Another central idea in Kabbalah is the Sephirot, representing the 10 emanations or aspects of God. Each Sephirah embodies a particular divine quality, such as wisdom, compassion, or strength. The Sephirot are seen as interconnected and provide a framework for understanding the divine nature and its reflection in the human soul. Practices within Jewish mysticism often involve meditation, visualization, and recitation of sacred texts. Kabbalists engage in contemplative practices to refine their spiritual awareness and develop a closer relationship with the divine. They seek to uncover the hidden meanings within the Torah and other sacred texts, exploring the mystical interpretations and symbolic layers of these teachings. Kabbalistic practices also include the use of rituals such as lighting candles, reciting prayers, and observing special holy days. These rituals serve as gateways to connect with the divine presence and invite spiritual transformation. Mysticism in indigenous and shamanic traditions. Discussing mystical practices and beliefs in indigenous cultures. Indigenous cultures around the world have rich spiritual traditions that encompass mystical practices and beliefs. These traditions often emphasize a deep connection with nature, the spirit world, and the collective wisdom of ancestors. Mysticism in indigenous cultures is rooted in the understanding that everything in the universe is interconnected and imbued with spiritual significance. Mystical practices in indigenous traditions vary across different cultures, but they often involve rituals, ceremonies, and a close relationship with the natural world. These practices are designed to facilitate communication with the spirit realm, seek guidance, and tap into spiritual energies for healing, protection, and balance. Indigenous mystics may engage in drumming, chanting, dancing, or the use of sacred plants to enter altered states of consciousness and connect with the divine. Beliefs in indigenous mysticism revolve around the existence of multiple spiritual dimensions and the presence of spirits or deities associated with specific elements of nature. Indigenous cultures recognize the importance of maintaining harmony and balance with the natural world, seeing it as a sacred web of interconnectedness. Mystical experiences in these traditions often involve encounters with spirits, animal guides, or ancestral beings who provide guidance, wisdom, and healing. Exploring shamanic journeying and altered states of consciousness. Shamanic traditions are prevalent in many indigenous cultures and involve the practice of shamanism, a form of mysticism that focuses on direct interaction with the spirit world. Shamans, or spiritual practitioners, serve as intermediaries between the human and spirit realms, utilizing various techniques to enter altered states of consciousness and navigate spiritual realms. Shamanic journeying is a central practice in shamanism. It involves entering trance-like states through rhythmic drumming, chanting, or other methods to access non-ordinary realities. During these journeys, shamans seek insights, healing, and guidance from spiritual entities, such as animal spirits or ancestral beings. Through their journeys, shamans acquire knowledge, retrieve lost soul fragments, and perform healing work for individuals and communities. Altered states of consciousness are also induced through the use of sacred plants or psychoactive substances in some shamanic traditions. These substances are believed to facilitate communication with the spirit world and induce visionary experiences that provide spiritual insights and healing. Shamanic traditions highlight the importance of personal experience, direct revelation, and connection to the spirit world. Through shamanic journeying and altered states of consciousness, practitioners engage in mystical encounters, accessing hidden realms of knowledge and seeking to restore harmony and well-being. In conclusion, mysticism in indigenous and shamanic traditions embraces the interconnectedness of all things and offers pathways to engage with the spiritual dimensions of existence. These mystical traditions are integral to the cultural and spiritual heritage of indigenous communities, preserving ancient wisdom and providing avenues for spiritual growth and connection. Common themes and characteristics of mysticism: unity and interconnectedness. Mysticism emphasizes the unity and interconnectedness of all things. It recognizes that everything in the universe is fundamentally connected, transcending differences and divisions. Mystical experiences reveal a profound sense of interconnectedness with the divine, nature, and fellow human beings. This understanding fosters compassion, empathy, and a reverence for the interconnected web of life. Mystical love and compassion. Mysticism is characterized by a deep experience of love and compassion. Mystics encounter overwhelming love and divine compassion during their spiritual journeys. This love extends beyond personal attachment, encompassing a universal, all-encompassing love that embraces all beings and creation. Mystical love inspires acts of kindness, selflessness, and service. Compassion arises from recognizing the interconnectedness of suffering and the inherent dignity of all beings. Beyond religious boundaries. Mysticism transcends religious boundaries and reaches beyond specific belief systems. While it is often associated with spiritual traditions, mysticism is not limited to any particular religion or dogma. Mystics recognize that the divine can be experienced and understood in diverse ways, and they embrace the underlying unity that exists across religious and cultural differences. Mystics often emphasize the universality of their experiences, affirming that the essence of mystical encounters is accessible to all individuals, regardless of their religious affiliation or background. They perceive a common thread that runs through various religious traditions, highlighting shared mystical insights and experiences. Mysticism invites individuals to explore their own spiritual paths, to seek direct experience of the divine, and to connect with the transcendent reality beyond the confines of religious labels. Transformation and self-realization. Transformation and self-realization are central goals of mysticism. Mystics seek profound personal transformation through their spiritual journeys, aspiring to transcend limited notions of self and to awaken to their true nature. They recognize that the ego-bound identity is a construct that veils the deeper interconnected reality of existence. Through mystical practices such as meditation, contemplation and self-inquiry, mystics strive to dissolve the egoic boundaries and awaken to a higher state of consciousness. This transformative process involves shedding illusions, attachments, and conditioned patterns of thinking and behavior. It is a journey of self-discovery, leading to the realization of one's true essence and the interconnectedness of all things or of all existence. Self-realization in mysticism is not a mere intellectual understanding, but a direct experiential knowing. It is the recognition of one's inherent divinity, the divine spark within. Mystics describe this realization as a state of profound inner freedom, joy, and peace. It is a shift in consciousness that brings about a radical transformation in one's perception of oneself, others, and the world. Mystery and paradox. Mystery and paradox are integral aspects of mysticism. Mystics recognize that the nature of the divine and ultimate reality is beyond full comprehension or logical explanation. They acknowledge the limitations of human language and conceptual frameworks in capturing the ineffable nature of the mystical experience. Instead, they embrace the mystery, recognizing that there are aspects of the divine that transcend human understanding. Mystical experiences often involve encounters with the unknown, the numinous, and the awe-inspiring. Mystics venture into realms that defy ordinary perception and logical reasoning, encountering paradoxes that challenge conventional thinking. Paradoxes in mysticism arise from the merging of opposites or the coexistence of seemingly contradictory elements. They invite the mind to transcend dualistic thinking and embrace a higher level of understanding. Paradoxes can be found in the mystical teachings and writings of various traditions. They serve as gateways to deeper insights and invite the seeker to move beyond intellectual understanding into direct experience. Mystics understand that the unraveling of paradoxes requires a shift in consciousness and a willingness to embrace the unknown. Symbolism and imagery. Symbolism and imagery play a significant role in mysticism as vehicles for expressing ineffable truths and deep spiritual insights. Mystics often use symbols, metaphors, and poetic language to convey their mystical experiences and insights that surpass rational discourse. Symbols serve as bridges between the ordinary and the transcendent, allowing mystics to communicate aspects of the divine that go beyond the limitations of words. Symbols in mysticism can take various forms, such as sacred geometries, animals, colors, or natural elements. They carry layers of meaning that point to deeper spiritual realities and offer glimpses into the interconnected nature of existence. Symbols facilitate a direct, intuitive understanding that bypasses the intellect and resonates with the deeper dimensions of consciousness. Imagery is closely intertwined with symbolism and in mystical traditions. Mystics often use vivid imagery and visualizations to enter into deeper states of consciousness and connect with divine realms. Visualization can be employed as contemplative practices or as vehicles for inner journeying and exploration. By engaging the power of imagination, mystics create a bridge between the inner and outer worlds, allowing for transformative experiences and insights. The use of symbolism and imagery in mysticism serves multiple purposes. They provide a means to articulate and transmit mystical experiences, enabling others to grasp profound truths through the power of suggestion and evocation. Symbols and imagery also facilitate the integration of mystical insights into daily life, as they can evoke a sense of wonder, awe, and a reverence for the interconnectedness of all things. Misconceptions and challenges in understanding mysticism. Addressing common misconceptions about mysticism. Mysticism is a subject that is often misunderstood and surrounded by misconceptions. These misconceptions stem from a lack of familiarity with the topic or misrepresentations in popular culture. It is important to address these misconceptions to foster a clearer understanding of mysticism and its significance. Here are some common misconceptions about mysticism. Superstition and irrationality. One prevalent misconception is that mysticism is rooted in superstition and irrational beliefs. However, mysticism is not solely based on blind faith or irrational thinking. Mystics often emphasize the importance of direct experience, inner exploration, and personal transformation. Mystical experiences are not detached from reason, but can be deeply transformative and lead to expanded consciousness and insights. Escapism. Another misconception is that mysticism is a form of escapism from the challenges and realities of everyday life. However, mysticism is not about avoiding or neglecting worldly responsibilities. It is a path of deepening awareness and connection that can enhance one's engagement with the world. Mystics seek to integrate their spiritual insights into daily life, fostering compassion and making a positive impact in their communities. Exclusivity. Mysticism is often erroneously associated with exclusivity and elitism, suggesting that only a select few can access mystical experiences. In reality, mysticism is a universal human potential that is not limited to a particular group or elite. While some individuals may have a natural inclination or devote their lives to a mystical path, anyone can embark on a journey of self-discovery and experience moments of transcendence. Challenges in studying and interpreting mystical experiences. Studying and interpreting mystical experiences presents its own set of challenges due to the subjective and ineffable nature of these encounters. Here are some of the challenges researchers and scholars face. Subjectivity. Mystical experiences are deeply personal and subjective, making them challenging to study and measure objectively. Each individual's encounter with the mystical is unique, and it can be difficult to establish standardized criteria for evaluating and comparing these experiences. Language limitations. Mystical experiences often defy adequate expression in language. The ineffable nature of these encounters surpasses the limitations of words and concepts. Mystics themselves acknowledge that their experiences transcend ordinary language and often resort to poetic language, symbolism, and metaphor to convey their insights. Cultural context. Mystical experiences are shaped by cultural, religious, and historical contexts. Understanding and interpreting mystical experiences require a nuanced understanding of the specific cultural and religious frameworks in which they arise. It is essential to consider the socio-cultural influences that shape an individual's interpretation and expression of their mystical encounters. Integration with academic disciplines. Mysticism spans multiple disciplines, including philosophy, psychology, religious studies, and neuroscience. Integrating the diverse perspectives and methodologies from these disciplines can be challenging. It requires interdisciplinary collaboration and a willingness to explore new approaches to studying and understanding mystical experiences. Skepticism and criticism. Mysticism often faces skepticism and criticism from those who dismiss it as mere subjective experiences or delusions. This skepticism stems from a materialistic worldview that prioritizes empirical evidence and dismisses subjective experiences as unreliable. Addressing this challenge involves engaging in rigorous research, gathering empirical data where possible, and presenting a balanced understanding of the limitations and potentials of mystical experiences. Overcoming these challenges requires interdisciplinary collaboration, open-mindedness, and a balanced approach that acknowledges the limitations and potentials of mystical experiences. Language and interpretation. Language plays a central role in human communication, but when it comes to mysticism, it faces inherent limitations. Mystical experiences often transcend ordinary language, defying precise description and conceptualization. The ineffable nature of these experiences makes it challenging to articulate and communicate them effectively. Here are some key aspects related to language and interpretation in mysticism. Ineffability of mystical experiences. Mystical experiences often involve encounters with the transcendent, the divine, or ultimate reality. These encounters can be so profound and beyond ordinary perception that they resist translation into words. Mystics often resort to metaphor, symbolism, and poetic language to convey the depth and intensity of their experiences. These linguistic devices allow them to point towards the ineffable, even if they cannot fully capture or explain it. Interpretive frameworks. Mystical experiences are influenced by cultural, religious, and philosophical frameworks. The interpretation of these experiences is shaped by the beliefs, symbols, and concepts within a particular tradition. For example, a mystic within a Christian context may interpret their experience through the lens of Christian theology, while a mystic in a Buddhist tradition may draw upon Buddhist concepts of enlightenment. The interpretive framework influences how mystics make sense of their experiences and communicate them to others. Symbolic language. Symbolism plays a crucial role in mystical discourse. Mystics often employ symbols and metaphors to convey abstract and transcendent ideas that go beyond literal language. These symbols can carry deep layers of meaning and evoke a sense of resonance and connection with the divine. However, interpreting these symbols requires contextual understanding and cultural sensitivity. Cultural and linguistic diversity. Mystical experiences and their interpretation vary across different cultures and languages. Mystical traditions around the world have their unique terminologies, symbols, and metaphors to express mystical insights. Translation and cross-cultural interpretation of mystical texts and teachings can be challenging due to the nuances and cultural specific references embedded in the original language. Skepticism and criticism. Skepticism and criticism towards mysticism have existed throughout history. Some individuals and schools of thought dismiss mysticism as a product of delusion, wishful thinking, or psychological phenomena. While healthy skepticism can foster critical thinking and inquiry, it is essential to address misunderstandings and biases when engaging with mysticism. Here are some common points of skepticism and criticism. Empirical challenges. Mystical experiences are subjective and difficult to measure objectively. This poses challenges in providing empirical evidence to support claims of transcendent encounters. Skeptics often demand scientific validation, which can be difficult to achieve due to the highly personal and transformative nature of mystical experiences. Cognitive explanations. Skeptics may attempt to explain mystical experiences solely through cognitive or psychological processes, dismissing their spiritual or metaphysical dimensions. While psychological factors can contribute to mystical experiences, reducing them solely to neurobiological or psychological mechanisms overlooks the profound and transformative aspects of these encounters. Charlatanism and exploitation. The history of mysticism is not devoid of individuals who exploit or deceive others under the guise of mystical knowledge or experiences. This has led to justified skepticism and caution in evaluating claims of mystical encounters. It is important to distinguish between genuine seekers and those who seek personal gain or manipulate others. Lack of consistency. The diversity of mystical experiences across cultures and individuals can lead skeptics to question their validity or coherence. However, it is crucial to recognize that mystical experiences can vary widely due to individual differences, cultural contexts, and the unique paths of spiritual seekers. The lack of consistency does not necessarily undermine the transformative power or authenticity of these experiences. Addressing skepticism and criticism requires a balanced approach that acknowledges the limitations and challenges while appreciating the rich history, cross-cultural prevalence, and personal significance of mysticism. It is important to engage in open dialogue, foster interdisciplinary conversations, and explore the intersection of mysticism with psychology, neuroscience, philosophy, and other relevant fields. Significance and relevance of mysticism. Personal and spiritual transformation. One of the significant aspects of mysticism is its potential for personal and spiritual transformation. Mystical experiences often provide individuals with profound insights, a deeper understanding of themselves and the world, and a sense of interconnectedness with the divine or ultimate reality. These experiences can be catalysts for personal growth, leading to positive changes in attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors. Mystical encounters can bring about a shift in one's perception of reality, dissolving the boundaries of the self and cultivating a sense of unity and interconnectedness with all beings. This sense of connectedness can inspire feelings of compassion, love, and a deep concern for the well-being of others. Mystical experiences often lead individuals to prioritize spiritual values such as inner peace, harmony, and a sense of purpose, guiding their actions and choices in life. Influence on art, literature, and philosophy. Mysticism has had a profound influence on various forms of artistic expression, literature, and philosophical thought throughout history. Artists, writers, and philosophers have drawn inspiration from mystical experiences and insights, seeking to capture and convey their essence through their creative works. In art, mystical themes and symbols have been depicted in paintings, sculptures, and other visual forms, aiming to evoke a sense of the transcendent, the divine, or the mystical union. Mystical poetry and literature, such as the works of Rumi, William Blake, and Meister Eckhart, have provided profound insights into the nature of mystical experiences and their transformative power. Mysticism has also made significant contributions to philosophical thought. Philosophers such as Plotinus, Soren Kierkegaard, and Friedrich Schelling have explored the concept of transcendence, the nature of reality, and the relationship between the finite and the infinite, drawing inspiration from mystical traditions. Mystical insights have challenged conventional philosophical frameworks, inviting contemplation on the nature of existence, consciousness, and the limits of human knowledge. Contemporary relevance. In the modern world, mysticism continues to be relevant and holds great significance for individuals seeking spiritual growth, meaning, and connection. In an increasingly materialistic and secular society, mysticism offers an alternative path to explore deeper existential questions and find solace in the transcendent aspects of life. Mystical practices such as meditation, mindfulness, and contemplation have gained popularity as tools for stress reduction, enhancing well-being and fostering a sense of inner peace. The integration of mystical insights and practices into psychotherapy and counseling has also shown promising results in promoting psychological healing, self-exploration, and personal transformation. Furthermore, mysticism plays a vital role in fostering interfaith dialogue and promoting unity among diverse religious and spiritual traditions. The recognition of common mystical experiences and shared themes of unity, love, and transcendence can bridge religious boundaries and encourage a deeper understanding and appreciation of different faiths. Interfaith dialogue centered around mysticism allows for mutual respect, the celebration of diversity, and the exploration of shared spiritual truths. Interfaith dialogue and unity. Mysticism provides a common ground for interfaith dialogue, as it transcends the boundaries of religious dogma and doctrine. Through mystical experiences, individuals often encounter a universal transcendent reality that transcends specific religious beliefs and practices. This recognition of shared mystical experiences can foster greater understanding, respect, and cooperation among different religious and spiritual traditions. Interfaith dialogue centered around mysticism allows for the exploration of universal themes and insights that can bridge divides and promote unity. By emphasizing the mystical aspects of different religious traditions, individuals can find common ground and engage in meaningful conversations about the nature of the divine, the purpose of life, and the path to spiritual transformation. Such dialogue can deepen one's own spiritual journey while also cultivating empathy and understanding for the experiences and perspectives of others. Final thoughts on the importance of understanding mysticism. Understanding mysticism is of profound importance in our quest for meaning, purpose, and connection in a complex and diverse world. Mysticism offers a unique perspective that transcends the boundaries of dogma, doctrine, and cultural differences, providing a direct and personal experience of the divine or ultimate reality. By exploring mysticism, we can gain insights into the depths of human consciousness, the nature of existence, and our interconnectedness with the universe. By delving into the mystical traditions of different cultures and religions, we expand our understanding of the human experience and the vast range of spiritual possibilities. Mystical insights challenge rigid beliefs and open doors to new perspectives, inviting us to explore the mysteries and paradoxes of life. In embracing the mystical dimension, we nurture our capacity for wonder, awe, and compassion, fostering a more holistic and inclusive approach to spirituality. That's it for this one. Please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. I also urge you to check out the description. You will find resources that will be of benefit to you. One last thing, you can find all of our episodes on Spotify. Thanks for watching till the end and enjoy the rest of your day.